Just ahead on CTV News.
Governor Wes Moore just made history, signing an executive order that's one of the most nationally significant pardoning efforts against marijuana convictions. I'm Mariah Jalad. I've got the story coming up on CTV News.
Plus, a well-known face resigns from the county council.
100-degree temperatures are fastly approaching. I'm Bryce Parker. We have tips on how to stay cool coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more up next on CTV News.
Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, June 17th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Katara Jones. Thanks for joining us. Cannabis has officially been legal in Maryland since last July, but some are still feeling the effects of the prior illegal status.
Mariah Jalad brings us the story from Annapolis, where a historic move by the governor tries to change that.
Governor Wes Moore signs a sweeping executive order pardoning decades of marijuana convictions.
I will pardon over 175,000 convictions.
Today's pardons forgive low-level marijuana charges for nearly 100,000 Marylanders, more than a year after the state decriminalized the drug.
Legalization does not erase the fact that nearly half of all drug arrests in Maryland during the early 2000s were for cannabis. It doesn't erase the fact that Black Marylanders were 3 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis than white Marylanders before legalization. It doesn't erase the fact that having a conviction on your record means a harder time with everything. Everything. I will grant pardons to Marylanders who have been convicted for misdemeanor possession of cannabis. And second, I will grant full pardons to Marylanders who have been convicted of certain misdemeanor possession crimes of drug paraphernalia.
Maryland's pardons follow several other states, but it's one of the most significant, as Maryland has a dramatically higher Black population percentage. The governor says this is a step to heal decades of social and economic injustices disproportionately harming Black and brown people, in a state that incarcerates twice the national average of Black people. Governor Moore has been working to reduce the racial disparity in Maryland's prisons, along with Public Defender Natasha Dartigue and Attorney General Anthony Brown.
Data uncontrovertibly shows that Black and Latino and white Americans use cannabis at the same rate, yet Black and Latino Americans are arrested, charged, and convicted at higher rates. Plainly put, the enforcement of cannabis laws has not been colorblind. It's been unequal treatment under the law. The tragic realities: joblessness, homelessness, poverty, violence, torn families, and broken communities.
12% of the pardoned convictions are in Prince George's County, and nearly a quarter are in Baltimore. The pardons won't release anyone from jail or expunge their records, but it will note on records for those convicted that they've received the governor's pardon.
So today, we take a big step enacting the kinds of policies that can reverse the harm of the past and to help us to work together to build a brighter future.
From Annapolis, Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
Longtime County Council member Mel Franklin resigns. Franklin served 2 terms representing District 9. Starting in 2010, he was also elected twice as council chairman before being elected twice as an at-large member. Franklin has authored over 100 bills that focused on creating economic opportunity, development, education, and public safety. No reason was given for Franklin's resignation, which took effect Friday, although he has been attending council sessions virtually for several weeks. A special election will be scheduled to fill Franklin's at-large seat.
Get ready, summer temperatures are knocking on our doorsteps. CTV News reporter Bryce Parker has some tips to stay cool in preparation for the heat wave ahead.
That's right, it is a hot day today, and as temperatures continue to rise across the DMV, we are nearing 100-degree days. Here are some tips that experts are sharing about how to stay cool and beat the heat. Now, constant hydration is a key to fighting heat exhaustion, as well as wearing light clothing like I have on today. Exercise like jogging or walking your dog should take place in the morning before the hottest parts of the day. And speaking of dogs, make sure we're remembering to bring your pets inside. Keep them away from that direct heat. Wear sunscreen, and when in doubt, visit one of the county's cooling centers for relief from the heat. Now, Prince George's County has opened over 20 different cooling stations across the county. To find out more information about operating hours and which location is located closest to you, visit pgparks.com. For CTV News, I'm Bryce Parker. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Bryce, for that report. The region should expect to see temperatures in the high 90s for the remainder of the week.
A youth football game turns deadly in Oxon Hill. It happened Saturday morning just before 11:30 at Potomac High School. Investigators say two people who were watching in the game got into a dispute before a gun was pulled and shots were fired. A man was killed and a 5-year-old child struck by gunfire. The child was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the shooter is still on the loose. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS.
One man is dead and 4 other adults have been displaced after an overnight fire in College Park Saturday morning. The fire took place on the 6500 block of DePaul Place. Officials say when crews arrived around 5:15 a.m., the home was already engulfed in flames. Firefighters found a man in critical condition. He died later at a hospital. A second resident was also taken to the hospital and sustained minor injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Larry Hogan's campaign may be trying to distance itself from its newest endorser, Donald Trump, but Maryland Democrats are jumping on the opportunity to tie the two Republicans together. While Hogan's campaign reiterated that the former governor would not be backing Trump this year, 2 digital billboards were put up by the rival party stating Trump endorsed Hogan. Party Chair Ken Ullman says that the Democratic Party wants every Marylander to know Trump endorsed Hogan because he wants a Senate majority that's beholden to Trump. A Hogan campaign spokesperson called the billboards political scare tactics.
And as the general election gets closer, some Maryland Latino leaders are urging the Democratic Party not to forget them. According to Maryland Matters, several Latino legislators, businesses, and community leaders signed a letter to Democratic Party leaders last week. The group wants to encourage the party to engage with the Latino community all year long. The letter includes a push to get more Latinos registered to vote, identify voting barriers, and creating civic education geared toward their community. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Still to come.
The county's first black municipality celebrated 100 years over the weekend. We'll have that story after the break.
We hear the stories of people forced to abandon their home. The stories of people whose dreams have been swept away, or their lives left hanging by a thread. Or whose worlds have been blasted apart. Although the stories repeat themselves, each person's experience is unique as they are. And whether it's care or community that people need, we're here to help them live a new chapter, to embrace what makes them unique, be a lifeline to the most vulnerable.
Out! Out! Everybody out! Come on!
Good job. Under 2 minutes.
Keep your loved ones safe from home fires. Practice a 2-minute drill until it's part of your routine. And test your smoke alarms monthly.
In America, millions of families are facing hunger. After rent and power, I can get groceries. It's sad to say food comes last. Anna from Texas. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Together, we can end hunger Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. The suspect in an armed attempted robbery up in Marlboro was struck and killed by the car of his would-be attacker, victim, that is. Police say they responded to a gas station on 9200 block of Crane Highway and spoke with the victim, who told them he hit one of the suspects with his car while the victim, was trying to get away. The attempted robbery happened outside a nearby home on Tiberias Drive. That's where they found the body of the alleged attacker. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS.
We now know the name of the victims who were fatally shot during a car meetup last week. The victims have been identified as 48-year-old Sheldon Proctor and 55-year-old Patrick Savoy. A third man was also shot, but he is expected to be okay. Prince George's police were called to a shopping center parking lot on the 7,000 block of Berry Road in Accokeek last Thursday, June 13th. When officers arrived, they found Proctor and Savoy suffering from gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead on the scene. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and indictment in this case.
And a big celebration over the weekend in North Brentwood, Prince George's first incorporated black municipality, which is also the state's second incorporated black community, celebrated its centennial on Saturday. North Brentwood was a thriving black town. Among the offerings were a grocery store, police department, and church. North Brentwood was also home to a club named Sis's Tavern, where locals say Ella Fitzgerald and Duke Ellington hung out. North Brentwood is on the northwest branch of the Anacostia and is between Mount Rainier and Hyattsville.
Maryland Senate President gets a new job with a Baltimore-based solar energy company. Senate President Bill Ferguson is now the General Counsel and Senior Vice President for CI Renewables. According to reports, the company is a solar energy firm that develops and operates commercial and industrial scale solar power generator installations in the Mid-Atlantic region. The firm recently signed a contract with the University of Maryland in Baltimore to install solar installations on top of garages. Ferguson says he will focus on transactional work for the company. And still to come on CTV News.
Is your teen a fiend for the coffee bean? Find out what one study has to say about youth caffeine consumption after the break.
Back in a moment.
The doctor said I only had a 29% chance to find you. But I knew you were out there. Every night, even when my heart was sad, I wished for you to sign up. I got so sick that I couldn't go to school, but I still made people laugh. But when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever. Sincerely, Owen.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at nmdp.org.
Well, police need your help identifying the person you're about to see on your screen. Investigators say he exposed himself to female shoppers at a business on the 10,400 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Highway. It happened Friday night at about 5:45. If you have any information on the suspect, you're asked to call the number on your screen.
Following numerous noise complaints in downtown Silver Spring, Montgomery County is taking action. The jurisdiction will be enforcing its noise control law beginning next month, including in the Veterans Plaza area. Under the law, sound levels will need to be lowered to 65 decibels from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekdays. After 9 p.m., noise cannot exceed 55 decibels. Violators could face a hefty $750 fine. Crews will be using a sound monitoring device to monitor the noise levels.
The University of Maryland and Under Armour extend their partnership with a new 12-year, $98 million deal. Under Armour's founder, Kevin Plank, is a 1996 grad of Maryland and a former Terp football player. The Baltimore-based company has sponsored the university since 2014. The deal comes as Under Armour is pulling back sponsorship at other universities.
Well, parents, listen up. While it may be normal for working adults to enjoy a daily cup of coffee, a national survey by the SC Mott Children's Hospital reports that 1 in 4 parents say their teen consumes caffeine every day or nearly every day. Some teens that enjoy coffee, sodas, or bubbly tea for the taste may not realize that the drinks have caffeine or the long-term effects. In addition to sleep issues, the stimulant can increase a teen's heart rate, anxiety, and even cause of athlete reflex.
Well, car manufacturer Toyota and Pepco are teaming up to explore bi-direction power flow for electric vehicles. That's technology that will allow EV owners to charge their vehicles and send back power to the local energy grid. It's called V2G technology, or vehicle to grid.
The companies say the technology has the potential to deliver improved energy reliability and resilience, as well as the possibility of lower electric costs. Officials say Maryland is on track to have 300,000 EVs on the road by 2025. And still to come on CTV News.
Simon Buggs has the Monday Sports page, and I hear a local athlete is giving back to the community.
What's up, sports fans? Are coming right up. Maryland native and Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver DJ Turner gives back to his community. I'll have details on the story in a bit. Stay right there. You're going to want to see this.
Having low income can mean making tough choices. Choosing between paying for food or medication or a place to live is a reality for many people. Do you know someone who could use some extra help? Find out about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI. You could receive monthly SSI payments if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. SSI is money you can use to help pay for basic needs, like putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, paying the rent. It can mean new shoes for growing feet or help with medical needs. Call 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI to schedule an appointment or start to apply today. That's ssa.gov/SSI. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hey there everyone, you know what time it is, the start of your Monday Sports page. We begin with some football news.
Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver DJ Turner is certainly an inspiration to the youth, as he has shown them that hard work definitely pays off. And as busy as the Glenarden, Maryland native is with improving his skills on the gridiron, he still finds the time to come back to the area he grew up in to help the next generation of football players achieve their dream of making it to the NFL. Turner hosts a football camp at Flowers High School over the weekend, and kids from all positions from quarterback to DB attended the camp in order to brush up on their skills. I caught up with Turner, and he told me what inspired him to host this camp.
Just looking back at when I was a kid, man, like I never really had like somebody I could look to that actually did what I wanted to do, which was playing the NFL. Like a lot of guys that coached me or taught me, which I mean did a great job, but they didn't get to where I wanted to get to. So I feel like it's my responsibility, being in the NFL, to come back and be able to give back to the kids that want to be NFL players one day.
Commanders linebacker and Maryland native Keandre Jones, as well as Malik Alexander, who grew up with Turner and is a board member on Turner's foundation, the Determination, Resilience, and Trust Foundation, were at the camp, and they told me how much it meant to them to be coaching up the next generation of athletes.
Going on year 5 in the NFL, it means that we get to come back in the community and build not only just my legacy, but make an impact on the youth. So this is very important, doing camps and holding individual sessions and one-on-one experiences that will last a lifetime for the kids.
I mean, it means the world to us. Like I said, we grew up 10 minutes from here. I'm in Glenarden, Maryland. So just to be able to come back, get back to the community, and just donate time. It's not really about the money or anything about that. It's just, giving back to the community, donating time. I mean, when I was growing up, I don't really remember seeing that many NFL athletes coming back to the community. I probably didn't meet my first NFL athlete till probably high school, 11th grade. So to be able to have a camp over 2 days, have close to 8 current NFL players here, allowing the kids to have one-on-one time with them, it just means the world.
I was able to catch up with one of the campers and quarterback Tyrone Jackson, and he says he was happy to be able to learn from Turner, who's a role model of his.
It means a lot, man. Just like growing up, he's always been my motivation to be as big as he was one day, and to finally get to learn from him one-on-one, something I'm gonna remember forever.
Jackson also touched on what he was hoping to improve on during his time at Turner's camp.
I really just say my feet work, just get a little faster with that, get a little faster, get a little more speedy for the season. This winter I'd gained a lot of weight. I gotta slim back down and get faster.
And for anyone with aspirations of making it to the NFL, well, listen up, as Turner has some advice for you.
I would just say stay consistent. Like, don't look at the numbers game. Don't think like, oh, because I'm a smaller kid or I might not be getting as many looks right now that it's not possible to make it. Like, just keep at it. Just keep going. Like, if you keep at something, you like really put some real effort into it and don't give up, you can do anything. So, I mean, and being an NFL player is one of those things.
And sticking with football news, Washington Commanders QB Jaden Daniels is officially a member of the team as he has signed his rookie deal. The 4-year deal is worth $37.75 million, fully guaranteed, and includes a $24.3 million signing bonus. The deal also has a 5th-year team option. The 2023 Heisman Trophy winner and LSU product was taken by Washington with the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. Moving on to the WNBA, the Washington Mystics won their 2nd straight game this season, defeating Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky over the weekend in a close game, 83-81. The game came down to the final seconds as Sky shooting guard Marina Mabry got fouled with 0.2 seconds left and had a chance to tie the game. But after missing both free throws, Washington escaped with its 2nd straight win of the season. Guard Ariel Atkins led the way with a season-high 29 points on 9 of 13 shooting from the field. And forward Aaliyah Edwards scored 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting and pulled down 9 boards. The Mystics will face Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever next on Wednesday. Now to the major leagues, the Washington Nationals completed their 2nd sweep of the season against the Marlins with a 3-1 win on Sunday afternoon. The Nats are on fire as they have won 8 of their last 9 games overall. The Nationals take on the Diamondbacks next tomorrow at 6:45. And that wraps up your Monday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thank you, Simon. Let's get a quick check now at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight it'll cool down to about 68 degrees, but keep those heat safety tips in mind all week.
Tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 91 and a low of 66. It will be mostly sunny on Wednesday, Juneteenth, with a high of 90. Thursday, we're expecting a high of 92 and a low of 70.
And now for a look at the community calendar. This Wednesday, the National Harbor is hosting a Black-owned business spotlight event.
Come show support to local Black-owned businesses with various performances by Secret Society Band, the Eleanor Roosevelt High School Step Team, and the Prince George's County Poet Laureate. The event takes place from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. For more information, visit nationalharbor.com.
And that's our news for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Night.